style. I use it on most of my projects, and it has been very effective. It's also very user-friendly, very comfortable. Your hand is able to descend and roll across the top. It's very friendly, and it's a great way to approach your work. Of course, the curves. The curves do an awful lot for the area. It just provides an openness, and once again, it allows for a user-friendly situation. And it's quite surprising how much a very subtle curve that opens up into the room allows for a more comfortable appreciation of the piece. It's really something I like to do and do a lot of, you know. I think we'll just cruise into the library. The library was kind of an add-on, and it's a good piece. It's really quite interesting. Once again, what we did here, I had to pull teeth to get my client to go for this. We had originally just intended to do a crown mold, but it was inadequate for this situation here, and he didn't really have a room that did a whole lot of work. Important for a home of this size and caliber to have a library area and an office that he could receive clients and fellow businessmen. To give a more purposeful atmosphere to the whole scenario, so he can, you know, have drinks and whatever you want here. The styling, of course, is consistent with what we've done with the arches. It's just been reduced to a smaller degree to allow for the treatment of the gables, which is the larger. I don't know. It's just it's a way of beefing up the project to give it a real built-in look, and it really adds to the solidity, and it allows for the moldings to be incorporated and to continue with the style. I think the surprising thing about this piece is that it was originally intended to feature a beaded floral pattern up on just below the frieze board, and I had provided space for it. And quite interesting, when I got into the piece, the central feature very quickly became the passageway, and I hadn't anticipated that in the drawing originally. So having recognized that, what I did at that point is that I began to focus my attention on the passageway as the focal to the piece. And I don't know if it translates into the video itself, but certainly on location it does. And if we can have a quick look at the passageway, I decided to arch the ceiling. That would be a very elegant way of treating this passageway. And it's really fantastic here. Everyone responds to it very, very well. And it's just classic workmanship, dome ceiling. And so this just goes to show you how, in many cases, the work is a process. That what you see in a working drawing isn't necessarily the focus that will be, that will occur when the product is there, in fact. So, in many respects, the work is like this. It's a process in many regards, and you can't always predict where your eye will land until you build it. Paper is different than the real thing, but it's a good piece, and everyone seems to like it. So we're going to go upstairs, and of course I made the stairs. They were kite stairs. That was a great production. And as we go up the stairs, I think what we'd like to look at very, very quickly is the paneling arrangement. And I know it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to see here, so I'll try to help out a little bit by explaining the genesis of the paneling up here. And I think why it's important to mention this is because this is really the foundation of everything that I do, and I think it's important to classic woodworking. And that is that the woodworking impart the structural integrity of the building. To that end, if we can come up into the stairwell, I'll get that. If we can come up into the stairwell, you'll notice that there is a broad horizontal band, and that corresponds with the joists that would lay out the place. So when I'm doing my arrangement, I'm capping that beam and featuring it, so you recognize that there's a structural element there. Now, in terms of the balance of the paneling that descend and ascend, above and below the central panel, that really is just consuming the space in the best possible way. Now, as you can see, there isn't a whole lot of paneling per se, in that it's divided. And that is because the situation here was very asymmetrical. Consequently, arriving at a balanced paneling scheme was very, very difficult. And this is why I increased the... So what I did is I went to single panels as often as we could. But this was also the reason why I increased the size and profile of the panel mold. I made it very large. Because we were only dealing with one, I felt that we had room to increase the panel size. Once again, with coloration and things like that, this is an oak nosing, which will be stained dark like the stairs. It will allow for, visually, what it will allow for is the floor to continue to flow out through this area and just provide a better look all the way around. That all elements are continued, you know, continuous line. So anyway, we're going to get upstairs. And here we have just the handrail post. Really not much we can say about it other than it's just a classic treatment, custom made oak post. Of course, I designed and built all the paneling. I make the oak handrail as well. And it's beefy. We do have a 9'6" ceiling here. So I really elevated the handrail height to 42, which I haven't done that often in the past. It was problematic in a lot of ways I won't suggest right now in terms of the overall look. I'm happy with the height. I'd have to work a little harder on how we coordinate this handrail height with the wainscot. I wasn't happy with the different elevations that occurred here with regard to post heights and handrail. But it'll do for now, but it feels great. That's one thing I can say. It's very comfortable, feels very safe, and I'm going to incorporate that in the future. I love the 42-inch height as opposed to the 36. It just really feels fantastic. So we're in the master bedroom. We're almost done. We're just going to look a little bit more because we're trying to be brief today. And this is the master bedroom. Now, what you'll find interesting with the master bedroom is that I don't know why we wanted to do a crown mold upstairs, and so I was considering looking for a theme to carry through the master bedroom. And it struck me that a reduction of the main molding downstairs might be a really great idea. So what I did, in fact, was to reduce by 50% the crown mold from the main room. And so I replicated at half scale. And I really think that this product is, in fact, much better. There's a much stronger cohesion between the different elements. That it produces, I think, a better crown mold. And once again, I was thorough in terms of continuing the fluted elements, all in reduced scale. The pilasters have been reduced by 50%. And all of the moldings have been proportioned, each and every one. So it is, in fact, an exact duplicate of what we have downstairs, ratioed down. And then the other feature that we decided just to finish up here was a fairly tall baseboard, only 9 1/4. Gosh, I wish I had higher plugs and raised them up a little bit. I'd go with a 10 or even a 14-inch baseboard with rooms at this height. And in the absence of a wainscot, I really think I've been underestimating the value of a really good substantial baseboard. So anyway, we've just got another little thing to have a quick glance at, and that'll be a quick preview of the Dremel house, and hopefully it just sort of lets you know where I'm coming from and what I do. So briefly here, so anyway, this is the final piece that we're going to have a look at here. We've continued a lot of the themes. There are steeples which are not in place right now, and it's sad because they really do complete the look. But in any case, these are the girls' bedrooms. The arch is deliberately feminine, and I think that I think that we were successful, and that they're definitely it's for the girls' rooms. This is why I introduced the ovals and the circle paneling and the very detailed corbels. It's almost sort of a cross French Victorian, but the intention was for it to be very girly and flowery. So, and I think we achieved that. It's a very, very classic look. Without getting into the technical aspects of it, it was challenging to produce the moldings here. And we've used an awful lot of different techniques to achieve these curves and shapes.